And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and just as I imagined, the moment is upon us. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are existing in the world of possibilities. What could be, what should be, and what it is. And bringing it to you, ladies and gentlemen, as only he can do. With his infamous words of wisdom and moments of meditation. It's the one, it's the only, it's the legendary, it's the man, it's the myth. It's T-Boz.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. So good to hear your voice on the airwaves. Come on in, everyone. Come on in, everyone. There's still people coming in. Good morning. You sound fantastic, baby. You sound fantastic.
Well, thank you, sir.
So nice to hear you. And, that introduction reminded me of what we used to say back in Mineola High School, because I'm from New York, and in Long Island. And we used to say, the man, the myth, the miracle whip. Now, I understand the man and the myth part. I don't know where we got the miracle whip. You see a guy in the hall. Hey, there he is, Pete Woodward, the man, the myth, the miracle whip. Anyway, so Welcome back. Boy, it's been a year, 2025. The big Christmas tree, the 15-foot tree is gone. Did you take that out in one piece? Oh, you had to cut it, George. I don't blame you. But it came in one piece. The classroom is back to normal. What a wonderful sight to see. Wow. What do we have? Visitors from, out in Avon. Wow. Great. Come on in. There's plenty of room. By the way, down the hall, we're in one end of the building across the street from WAPJ. But down the hall, there's some work going on in another people who rent the other end of the building. So you might hear a little bit in the background. Actually, one of the men is from Greece. His name is Yanni, and he's from Philippi, where Paul did his letters to the Philippians. So he's an actual Philippian person that he's down the hall working. So if you hear a little bang, bang in the background, boys and girls, it's not that Jock and I fell down. It's that the company that rents the other end of the building is having some work done. So come on in. Oh, there's Miriam. Wow, you look great. New hairstyle. Fabulous. So come on in, everyone. Welcome back to Words of Wisdom, Moments of Meditation, the New Year's message. Boy, do I have a three-ring circus going today. I've got a lot of balls in the air. I pray to God that they all land in the same spot at the end, as my friend Catherine always says. But before we start, even before we do the shout-outs and the coffee and all of that, we have to go over to that guy right there, George by the door, who gives the pencils, helps people with the seating, helps decorate the place. And we have to announce, do you want me to do it? I'll do it? Okay. He doesn't like to talk on the radio. He and his fiancée, Alicia, they got engaged Christmas Day. I wish I had time to tell you the story, how he proposed to her. Lady Diane and I had a wonderful dinner with them last Friday night, and the girls were really sparkling with their rings. And so we want to congratulate Alicia, who does alternative anthems on Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, and George by the door, looking pretty sharp there. What a great way. Maybe next week, if we have time, I'll share with the audience, if you don't mind, what a wonderful romantic thing he did. So congratulations to them. Love is in the air. Weddings are in the air. They'll be married about a month or so before Lady Dan and I. But what a great couple. We wish them the best. And fabulous what you did there. So thank you and congratulations. So let's go moving along now to the shout-out. This is a quick shout-out. My friend Rose Marie, her name back in the day was Latito. Now it's Misty. She always puts wonderful things on Facebook. And actually, some of that helped me with today's program. She's down in Long Island, so she probably still talks like that, so we want to say hi to her. The other thing is the quote, end of the year takeaway show. I'm going to announce the winner. The winner was the JFK quote about appreciation and the whole thing about to live by words rather than utter them. And the quote that came in second was by my counselor, Bob, to participate, don't anticipate. So those were the 1, 2, and then from there, they went from there. But the JFK quote was in the lead, and I thank all of you for sending in your your votes and taking part in the Takeaway Show. We're going to do that again next year because we'll have takeaways. And I thought that was a great idea. So the John F. Kennedy quote, "Don't utter words, but live by them." And that kind of parlays into what we're going to be doing today. So before we get into all of that, let's go over to the coffee pod. But our friend Stan is a little under the weather. So he's not here today. But to fill in for him is none other than Dennis. Dennis, the Coffee Menace. Hey, Guy, how are you? One of our friends from Sasso's, a great singer, night and day. You got to hear this guy's voice. And he came in to fill in for Stan. What a great friend. And Dennis, what do we have? We have Cocoa Mocha Divine. Oh, bagels, salt bagels, my favorite, Dennis. Cream cheese, croissant. These croissants are warm. Yogurt, and a little sign, "Welcome back, class of 2025. Oh, awesome. And Dennis, who is our sponsor for the refreshment table today? None other than Bob Carlson Heating. They did back at the farmhouse. They did a big job for me. And there's two Carlsons in Torrington, but there's only one. And that's Bob Carlson Heating. And what a great guy he is. His team is polite, professional, excellent technicians. Tina in the office does a great job. So if those of you need heat work and you don't like the company you're with, Bob Carlson Heating, they're right here in Torrington, and they sponsored the refreshment table. So thank you, Dennis, again, for filling in short notice. Stan owes you one, I guess, at Sasso's. Anyway, let's get to our format. Here's the format. All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to examine the holidays. I'm going to get into something here in a minute. We're going to examine the holiday message, the Christmas message, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. We're going to go through a Bible story, okay, and show how our hope can become our dreams. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about light. We're going to talk about miracles. Hopefully this all comes together, boys and girls. And then the quote at the end is a question, and yes, it's going to be an assignment that you guys can participate in. I hope you do. I'll walk you through that at the end. And so what did we learn from the holidays? I just want to retract a little bit. I am a Christian, right? I'm Catholic. I'm a Catholic Christian. Okay, this is not a Christian show. All are welcome here. We put the trough. If you want to drink the water, fine. If not, that's okay. All right? We have all kinds of people in this room, all political views, all different faiths, all different nationalities. We're Georges. The door is open. You're all welcome. Okay? But I did a show 3 weeks ago about what Christmas is about, the incarnation. That's what I believe, not what you have to believe, but I believe what Christmas is about. But some people misinterpret it. It's not what December is about. Okay? And as Christians, we moved Christmas into December because Jesus was actually born in September, and we moved it into December with all the other holidays so that we would be able to worship without being pestered and bothered. Okay? But in the month of December, there are over 325 observances, that's holidays, in 230 countries, in 3,300 locations. So as Christians, we don't own December. December has a lot of wonderful, wonderful holidays that celebrate life, the beginning of the new year, the harvest, family, togetherness, goodwill. They all have a similar theme. So yes, today we're not just going to examine what did we learn by Christmas, but what did we learn from the holidays? Because they all teach and preach pretty much the same thing. Okay, so December is everyone's month. It's not just ours. And we want to learn in life as we go through our life to be open, to be aware, to understand. We don't want to have tribalism, okay? We want to be open. We're all together in this journey. It only lasts about 75, 80 years, so you might as well get along with some of these people, okay? So open your hearts. And I was also moved for this talk by the late, great President Jimmy Carter, who died while we were on hiatus. 39th President of the United States, Democrat from Georgia, wonderful man from 77 to 81. He lost to Ronald Reagan, as you all know. And but he carried on with his humanitarian needs. He was a light in the world. I actually did some work with Americares that he was involved in. And so we were a great father, great husband. They were married 70 years. And so his vision and his light is part of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about being the light. And late, great Jimmy Carter, what a wonderful president he was, a wonderful humanitarian, and a wonderful human being. And so we pray that he's in heaven. So let's start with Matthew chapter 4, verse 16. And it says, the people who sit in the darkness have seen a great light. Wow. Or have we? Or have we? All right. My question to some of you is, some of us are still in the darkness. We have internalized, we have intellectualized the holiday message, the Christmas, the Hanukkah, the Kwanzaa message, the others. But have we embraced it? Have we embraced goodwill towards men, or were we back to malice and get men? What are we back to? The people who were in darkness have seen a great light. And I don't care if you're atheist, agnostic, you can treat these scripture verses as Andy Hardy, that's fine, but they're good advice. But have seen a great light, but have we seen the light? Have we made any change? The purpose of the holidays is not just to put up a tree and put up decorations and go, okay, we're done. The purpose of the holiday season is to come away more, to come away better than when we started. So my question is, did we learn anything from the holidays? All right. Or when we put the lights and the little figurines and the ornaments and we close the attic door, boom, do we leave it all up there? Is Christmas and the holidays a nice place to visit, but we really don't want to live there? Do we? You know, everybody takes the decorations down. You know what you should leave up? The message. The message of goodwill towards men. And you can be of any nationality and any religious background and understand that. Peace on earth. Goodwill towards men. Don't put the message up in the attic with everything else and lock the door. Leave up the message. Leave up the fact that the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. Matthew chapter 5, verse 15. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel basket. They put it up on a stand, a candle stand. What we're supposed to take away from the holiday season is that light. Now, some of you are probably saying, but Boz, how can we be light? We got the fires in California. We had that awful incident New Year's Day. People got killed. How could we be light? Because we have to think of Hebrews chapter 3, verse 14. Stand firm. Stand firm in your faith. Do not let discouragement, do not let current events, do not let circumstances take away that light. Have the people who are in darkness have seen and experienced this light. Stand firm. Push back discouragement. Push back disappointment. It's a new year. You know, when I was in sales, they used to get a fake toilet bowl and go and flush everything. So push it back. Stand firm, it says in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 14. Psalms 119, verse 130 says, the unfolding of your words is light. What are we saying? Did we say a bunch of nice things around the tree? Did we say a bunch of nice things around the menorah? Did we say nice things at our Kwanzaa dinner that they have at the end of the season of Kwanzaa? Or are we back to business as usual? Are the holidays a nice place to visit, but we really don't want to live there? You see, you don't need to make New Year's resolutions. You need to take the message of the holidays and embrace it in your heart. Not sit there and say, oh, Jesus was born in a manger, or they let the oil burn for 8 days in the temple. That's all intellectual. You gotta feel it. You gotta wear it, as St. Paul says. Put on the cloak of goodness. Rabbi, let me see if I'm going to get this right, Jack. Rabbi Nathara Tagore, and he was a poet, a Nobel Prize winner. I think someone can correct me if I said it wrong, but Rabbi Nathara Tagore says this, and this is going to lead into our Bible story. Faith, I'll follow this. Put the pencils down, everyone, and just listen. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. Bing, bang, boom. The bird that feels the light even though the dawn is still dark. That's what faith is. So if we're going to be that light, we have to have faith. But we have to have faith in sometimes circumstances that are not good. We have to stand firm and have faith when we hear the current events that are going on in the world. Okay? We're going to feel that light in the darkness. The bird, that's what faith is, the bird that feels the light even before the dawn. And so we're going to hear a Bible story right after the break about a man named Jairus and his daughter and Jesus. So, Jock, why don't we go into the break? It's 11:29, probably 11:30, I think, Mike. Oh, there it is, 11:30. Why don't we do the break now, and then we'll cruise right along.
No static at all. Thank you for tuning in to your local community radio station, WAPJ Torrington, broadcasting at 105.1 and 89.9 on your FM dial, streaming worldwide and in stereo at WAPJ.org. We'd like to thank our sponsors for allowing us to bring you the quality community radio programming that we're doing at this time. And we want to encourage each and every one of you to reach out to your local community radio station for all your community needs, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. In the meantime, we'll get back. I, for one, am waiting with bated breath. T-Boz, you're serving us up a good one, man. Finish it out.
All right.
Back to you.
Go. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you. And I want to thank my friend Rob down in Virginia. They got 16 inches of snow. But anyway, he added this to the talk, so I felt it was apropos. So here we go. The story of Jairus. Now we talk about the bird that feels the light even in the darkness. So Jairus is a Pharisee. He's against Jesus. And again, take the grocery store approach. There's a lot of new listeners. Leave on the shelf what you don't like, take what you like. I'm not here to convince you to be a Christian, to be Catholic, to be atheist, to be agnostic, to be a hedonist. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing ideas with you, and you incorporate it into your own life however you believe. You can be a naturalist, a sun person. It doesn't matter. All are welcome, right, George? Okay, so Jairus. Jairus is a Pharisee. He's against Jesus. He's against him. He's the other guy. He's that other team that he doesn't like. Okay? But Jesus is in a crowd, and Jairus comes up and says, Rabbi, come quickly. My daughter, my 12-year-old daughter is sick. She's near death. And so Jesus, even though the Pharisee is against him, saying that he's not the Messiah and that he heals people on the Sabbath and all the things that they weren't supposed to do, right? And Jesus looks and says, take me to your daughter. Show me where you live. But as he's walking through the crowd, this hemorrhaging woman who's hemorrhaging like leprosy, says, if I can only touch his cloak, if I can only just touch the tassels of his cloak, I will be healed. And as Jesus is walking, he says, who touched me in this crowd of people? Who touched me? He felt the power go out of him. And he turns and he sees this woman hanging on to him. And he says to the woman, by your faith you have been healed. See, miracles happen by our faith, just like the birds, right? By our faith. He says, daughter, you have been healed. People who have been in darkness have seen a great light. He didn't say, abracadabra, I healed you. He said, by your faith, you were healed. But now in doing that and being in this crowd, he is delayed. Remember that word, delayed. And so by the time he gets to Jairus' house, there's crying and weeping and commotion. And Jairus says, what happened? And they said, your daughter died. So in the delay, in helping this other woman, Jairus' daughter dies. So Jesus says, take me to her. And he takes James and John and I believe Andrew, and he takes Jairus and Jairus' wife, and they go into the room, and the girl is dead. And he says, everyone else out of the house, just Jairus and his wife and the three apostles stay in the room. And he looks at the little girl, and he says, daughter, arise. And she sits up. And then he looks at the mother and father and says, give her something to eat. See, Jesus is always having us as part of the miracle, as part of the light. He doesn't do the miracles on his own. Give her something to eat. And so she begins to eat. And then he walks back out in the room and all the commotion and the people, what happened? And Jairus says, the miracle, my daughter is alive. What's happened is, in the delay, the daughter died. Some of you in this room and listening are in that delay. But the Lord has not forgotten about you. Because what Jairus was hoping for was a healing. Instead, he got a resurrection. Some of you are waiting for that healing. You're saying, why is it taking so long? Why are there fires? Why is there killing? Why is my wife not getting better? Why? And that delay is eating you up and causing you to be discouraged, but you got to stand firm. Hebrews 3, chapter 14. And in that delay, something good is coming. In that delay. Right, Tim? Remember the delay last year? Right, Barbara? Josh and Laurel, the delay? Something good came. From what you wanted, a healing, boom, you got a resurrection. And there's a resurrection coming towards all of you. Why? Because the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. The holiday season is that light. Don't put it in the attic. Live it. And so the moral of that story then is to have faith that the bird feels the dawn. Is that we're waiting and we're waiting. And we always feel like we're in the delay, like God doesn't hear us, but he does. And instead of a healing, you'll get a resurrection. Phil McGraw says this, sometimes you make the right decision, and sometimes you make the decision right. Boom. Jairus made the decision right. He made the decision. I'm against Jesus. This guy's a nutcase, what he's preaching. Okay, love your enemies. What, sitting with prostitutes? What, this guy's whack. But he made the decision right. Because when push came to shove, he said, Rabbi, come. Some of you can make the decision right. You've made decisions. Maybe you haven't talked to someone. Maybe you haven't forgiven someone. Maybe something. But you can make that decision right, like Jairus. And then you can be part of the healing and the resurrection. We look at Roy T. Bennett, and he says, believe in your heart that you were meant to live a life of purpose, of passion, of magic, and miracles. Boom. Believe in in the fact that whatever your power source is, the cosmos or whatever, believe that you have a life of purpose, that you have a life of passion. Jairus had a passion. It was passionate. His daughter was near death and she died, and he still went to the rabbi. Okay? The people have seen a great light. We don't put the candle up and put a bushel over it. We put the light on a stand. So in yourself, what makes the miracle happen, like the hemorrhaging woman, is you. You. What does Jesus tell when he raises Lazarus from the dead? He says, Lazarus, come out. Then he says to the people, untie him. They're all part of the miracle. So are you. And you, and you, and you in the back that's hiding behind that lady, and you over there who's going for that croissant. They're all part of the miracle. They're all part of the good. Albert Einstein says there are only two ways to live. To live that nothing is a miracle, or that everything is a miracle. And this is a scientist. I prefer to believe that everything's a miracle. My relationship with Lady Diana, that's a miracle, boys and girls, because if I came out another door and she went another way and that phone connected, there would be no wedding in August. There would be no wedding. That's a miracle. That's what that is. You can call it whatever you want. Energy force, it's a miracle. We look a little further down here to Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he says, the only person you are destined to be is the person you decide to be. Boom. You decide to be. Jairus decided to be a believer. Look what happened to him. It's the person you decide to be. So who are you going to decide to be today? Are you going to decide to be the people who put all the decorations in the attic and close the door? Or are you going to leave up the message and have goodwill towards men, not malice towards men? Kaylee Uchi says, I am into crystals. That's rocks. I'm into crystals and good energy and harnessing more of it. It's just like prayer. It helps you to be grateful. Boom. So there are people in this room that are not into the God that I am into and some of the other people, okay? They're into nature or they're into energy forces. But see what she says? It's just like prayer. Boom. That energy, that positive energy force. Live your life with a positive attitude. It ain't easy, but if we go back to Hebrews 3:14, do it with me. Stand firm. And that's what Kaylee Uchi is saying. She believes in harnessing more. Isn't that good? Right? Goes right back to where we started. The people in darkness have seen a great light. Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, says, I am not bound to win, but to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. Bing, bang, ba-boom. Lincoln says that the light that I have. He doesn't say that the light I'm going to get. He doesn't say that the light that I got to work for. He doesn't say that the light I got to buy at Walmart. He says it's the light that I have. I am not bound to succeed, but to live by the light that I have. Jairus shone a light to all those people in the room, the commotion. Imagine them. Here's a Pharisee on the other side, almost like a conservative, coming all the way over to a liberal over here. They must have thought, what's going on? But Jairus, the light that he had, that's what he chose to live by, not success. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine before men, and may they see your good deeds and good work. Just what I said at the beginning. Don't close the attic door and leave the nativity and the menorah and all your other stuff in the attic. By your good deeds and your love and your light and your belief and your energy force. The last quote before we get to the takeaway. By Teresa of Avila. She's a saint. She was born in 1515 on the 28th of March. God has no body on earth now. Just yours. Wow. Isn't that cool? God, the creator of the universe, if you want to call him energy force, it's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but God has no body on earth now. Just yours. Wow. Isn't that uplifting? Isn't that really cool? God has no body on earth, yours. You guys sitting here, listening on the radio, watching on Zoom, you guys have the light, like Lincoln says, within. Like Jimmy Carter, who went after the presidency, kept going on and living what he really believed in. We could use more men like Jimmy Carter. You want to know the truth? Ronald Reagan and JFK. But God has no body, it's just yours. What a wonderful thing that is. You can create miracles. You can create goodness in life. You can create those things like it says in Psalms, by your words you give light. And right back to where we started, the people who were in darkness have seen a great light. That's what happened in December. Not the fish, not the turkey, not you had the best tree you ever had before, not the wrapping paper, not the song, not New York City, not Radio City Music Hall. That's all stuff. It's fine. But if you live in the stuff, you don't get more God because you have a big tree and more garland on your house, or a bigger menorah, or more turkey for Kwanzaa. You get more whatever energy force, as Kali Uchi says, or God, when you love. And then the delay that you're waiting in, that faith that you have during that delay, you will see a resurrection more so than a healing. Here's the takeaway, and this is going to be a question, and let's see how we're doing on time. Okay. So it's going to be in the form of a question. Here's the thing. And I'm going to have you guys, it's an assignment, respond. But in other student programs, I say people's names, Jim or Bob or Mary or Nancy. Because of what this is going to be, I will not air your names on air, because I want these requests to be very, very honest. So I'll just say this person or that person, or this man or this woman, but I will not say your names on air. So here's the question, and it comes from Mark chapter 10, verse 51. And Jesus said to the blind man, "What do you want me to do for you?" Boom. Right? Beginning of a new year. What do you want me to do for you? And the assignment is simple. Send to my phone, and I want specifics, not I want my family to be happy. No. If there's a healing, if there's a brokenness in your family, something, that's what I want to hear. Specific. I'd like to make up with my daughter, who I haven't spoken to in years. I just went for a doctor's appointment, and they found a mass, and I'm hoping that worked. That's specific. Not I want my family to be happy. We all know that already. Okay, that's a given. And send them to my phone, and I'll read them on the air. So imagine Jesus, Abraham, Muhammad, John Brown, any one of those spiritual leaders, Buddha, whatever. I'll think of Jesus saying, "What would you want me to do for you?" It could even be something like business. I'd like to, I had a failed business and I have this big contract I'm waiting for. Something, but specific. What do you want Jesus to do for you? He's waiting. You're in the delay, but be faithful. Stand firm. Be consistent, like Jimmy Carter, and be faithful, because the people who sat in darkness are now in a great light. We have a beautiful song. So, as I say every week on this program, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Happy New Year. And to everyone, happy holidays. And Jacques, spin the vinyl and be back next week with this special program. Thank you, Jacques, for coming in. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Dennis. Great job. See you next week. Bye-bye.